Live 105, Natasha Castles, live inside the Primavera Online High School Lounge. And I've got none other than the legendary Carlos Mencia.
Wow, I like that you got all Spanishy on me.
I mean, I feel like I have to.
No, you don't. You don't.
Now,
I grew up when they used to do that, like big time. Like, okay, so today, let me think of people that do it. Like Ana Cabrera, right? That's how she pronounced her names. She pronounced her name
Cabrera.
Ana. Yeah, Cabrera. But she doesn't say Cabrera. She says Cabrera. Whereas to like 20 years ago, she would have said Ana Cabrera. You know what I mean?
I have friends that get mad at me when I say tortillas instead of tortillas or burrito and stuff like that.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess to me, I'm speaking in English. So if I was speaking in Spanish, then yes, I would say it that way.
Exactly. Like, you know what it's like? It's like when people want you to pronounce their name
A certain
as
way.
if, yeah, it's like, dude, I'm doing it in English. If you don't like that, then, don't live in a country where they speak English.
We have a hotel in Scottsdale. It's called the Saguaro Hotel, and I went on air, and we used to have parties there, and I went on air and said the Saguaro Hotel, and my boss was like, yeah, they don't know what that is in Scottsdale.
Yeah, but what?
You gotta say Saguaro.
No, whatever. You know what? It's like Guadalupe has become Guadalupe. I'm okay with that.
That's so fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
La
whatever.
Lupita.
Yeah, but if that's your biggest problem, if that's your biggest issue, that you live in Guadalupe, but they call it Guadalupe.
Hey, it's gentrification. We don't like that.
What isn't that why we come to America though?
That
to
too.
gentrify?
Man, not to move everybody else out.
No, but yes, it is. That's really that's what America is exactly built on. I'm coming in. You get out of here.
There it is.
It's never been any different.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're here because I'm kind of sad. My Valentine's Day, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
He did a great job. However, I was the one that killed the mood last night.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of these shows called, I forgot what they're called, but it's based around girls that are pregnant that didn't know they were pregnant?
Oh.
I started talking about that kind of stuff, and it totally killed the mood. Now I'm kind of sad
How
today.
long have you been with your boyfriend?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
You can't talk about that kind of stuff.
You're too young to be bringing up permanence.
Permanence?
You know what I mean?
Is that what it was?
That's what a baby is, homie. What do you think a baby is?
Permanence?
Baby,
we live together. There's long-term goals here.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You live together, but he could leave, in theory, at any time. He could ditch whenever. Like
I just told you I was sad, and this is what you're bringing up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you sadder, so you never do it again. Why would you bring that up? You know what it's like? It's like if, as a woman, you want a guy to never want to talk to you again. After like the 4th week, right in the middle of sex, look at him and go, "I love you." Never see you again.
Oh, man.
That's way too soon. That's
I
way
did
too
that.
permanent.
He stayed.
That's way too permanent.
I was gonna ask you, have you ever killed the mood in an accidental way like that?
Nah, because unlike women, men actually know how to shut up during important shut up times.
That was an important shut up time.
It's a quality that men have that it's not something that we do on purpose.
Yeah, but
we know
him
how to
shutting
shut up.
after that led to more discussion. Why are you shutting up? Why won't you talk to me?
Of course,
oh,
but you ruined the moment.
But
you ruined the moment. See what I'm saying? You kept talking. You kept doing what you're not supposed to do, which is sometimes you got to shut up. And here's where we learn that from, right? We learn it from the fact that as a man, you can literally out-talk your way out of sex, right? So you're with a woman. No, but we don't want to do it.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
You do. That's the problem. See what I'm saying? You're doing it on purpose, not us. Like there's a moment where when you meet a woman and on the first date, second, third, whatever it is, but there's a moment where you look into her eyes as a man and she letting you know, like, tonight we're going to have sex. But as a guy, you can keep talking until it becomes like, oh, that was such a great conversation, but I'm tired now and I don't want to, you know what I mean? So when we see that moment, we shut up. You know what it's like? It's like there's a moment for every woman where she is so excited and horny and she's like drinking and she's like, we're gonna do some crazy.
Yeah.
Like you gotta take her right there. Like as a guy, you know that's the perfect moment. One
so
more
I
shot.
can get mad at him for that because we did take a shot and then I started talking about that stuff. Like
one
you
more
didn't
shot,
take advantage.
And you guys go from let's do it to
And that's exactly what it was.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but that's because
I'm sad. I already apologized this morning, by the way.
You and him are young. That's why you're little babies. And
Exactly.
You're
I told him
yourselves.
if I was some hot, young, super young thing, we wouldn't care. Like, whatever, shut up.
Oh, really? Good for him. Good for him. Oh, he didn't do that.
No.
Yeah, but it's hard because all of a sudden now it's like there's a baby coming and you might get pregnant.
There is no baby. It was a crazy story. I was just sharing an article I had read today.
Yeah, but when you women bring up babies, it's hard because even though in your head you might have been like, no, I'm not talking about having a baby. As a guy, we're like, man, I guarantee you that today he's with his friends going, bro, she brought up babies yesterday. And guys like me will be like, dude, she wants a baby.
I'm surrounded by too many men right now. I need my girl gang with me right now to argue this point. But you make a very solid point. I killed the mood. I accept full responsibility for that.
Here's the problem with what you just said right now. I am not arguing with you. I'm telling you the way we think. And instead of going, oh, that's what guys think, you're like, well, I'm going to go get my girls. What are your girls going to do? They're not going to change the fact that
I'm arguing with you like I was arguing with him last night about it.
When a man hears baby, we hear permanence, we hear marriage, we hear responsibility, we hear we got to buy a house, we hear all the stuff that is fun gets to go. We can't just have sex. We can't just drop anything. We can't just say, what are we doing this weekend? Let's go to blah, blah, blah. You can't do any of that anymore. All of a sudden, you got a little anchor, and that anchor is the heaviest anchor on the planet. It doesn't freak you out that much that you wouldn't bring it up.
I wasn't trying to have kids. I was just sharing my day and what I read. Whatever,
As a
Let's
woman,
talk about you. I'm done.
You know what? There are certain things that women should only talk to other women about.
Oh, okay.
A baby
get
talk?
That, yeah.
Talking about babies,
but
you don't want to have babies?
It wasn't just babies. It was this girl. She was pregnant, and she didn't find out until she was 7 months pregnant, and she had a flat stomach, so it was a crazy story.
Do you know how scary it is for your boyfriend to hear that you could be pregnant, but you don't know that you're pregnant?
It's scary for both of us.
Well, yeah, it's scarier for him, though.
You're right. That is a way to kill the mood, and it's exactly what happened, so I'm a little gloomy right now.
But don't be gloomy.
Why Valentine's Day, all the couples, they're doing one thing, and I was the one couple that wasn't.
That's not true. Who cares? Plus, by the way, today you can make it up by saying, you know what, baby?
Meet me for lunch.
Exactly, bro. See, now you see that smile on your face? That smile comes when you don't bring up babies right before sex.
All right, this is how we start off the day. Carlos Mencia, inside the Primavera Online High School Lounge. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I know some of your early beginnings were with Bernie Mac and on the Bernie Mac show.
Yeah, I was on it. I forgot that I was on it until I saw myself.
It's one of my favorite shows, and I'm glad that there's still reruns on TV. Yeah. Can you share a memory of Bernie Mac as just one of the legendary, comedy kings that he was?
My memories of him are sparse, but my conversations with him were always awesome because he was a guy that had been doing comedy for a really long time. And if you go back and actually look at the show when he came out, not the Bernie Mac show, but the Def Jam, he was one of the older guys. And his set was epic. But most people don't realize what happened. Before he went on stage, the comedian before him got booed off stage. So when you see it like that and you go watch it and you see the context of him and go, I ain't scared, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was because of that. And so my conversations with him were always very deep because he grew up poor, I grew up poor, we struggled really hard to get to where we were at. And so we kind of didn't have to talk very much to really get a grasp for how we were thinking and feeling.
We're here.
And it was one of those things where I remember the first time I did the show, I said to him, you don't have any time to think right now, right? Because this thing is so time consuming. And it was, Carlos, you don't even understand. And I was like, I do, brother. I appreciate, if you need anything, let me know. And I walked away. And I walked away to give him his space, not because I wanted to walk away, but because I knew what he was going through. I knew how his brain was just going in a million directions.
How that messes with your head.
Well, because, as minorities, we know that, especially back in those days, we get a shot to succeed. or we used to get. It's changed now, but we used to get a shot to succeed. Because people would always say to me, like, "Do you want them to give you an opportunity to succeed?" I said, "No, I want an opportunity to fail." Because I have a lot of white friends who are comedians who have done 3 TV shows and they all failed, but they were given another show. With me, if my show fails, I won't get another show because they're not giving me an opportunity to fail. They're giving me an opportunity to only succeed. And so the pressure that was bear on us was just enormous at the time. It was so huge and so weighted. And not just that, but like every other Latino comedian behind you was either like, how come he's getting a show and I'm not? Or if you get that show and it's successful, every other network's going to want a show just like that. So just every little thing is pushing you back and forth.
And again and again.
This has nothing to do with the creative process. We're not even talking about being funny yet. So it was a time where it was really tough for him in that respect, but man, he grew into that moment and he started doing movies, and he became Bernie Mac, and he grew bigger than comedy, and that's what every comedian wants to do, to be able to grow to the point where you're not just a comedian anymore, where you're bigger than that, but you could always come back and be funny and do comedy to the Robin Williams type of way and all that kind of stuff. And so he did it, man, and he did it, he did it irreverently but with humility. And that's a tough thing to do, especially when you grow up poor, because the minute you start getting success,
you're like, hey, what's
dude,
up?
you want to, first of all, you want to roll up in that car. You want everybody to pay attention. You want to say F you to everybody.
Don't forget about all the family that hits you up.
Yeah, well, that is not a good thing, because like me, I would be a millionaire if it wasn't for the fact that my family's so huge. So I'm 100,000-aire. You know what I mean?
That works too. You're comfortable.
No, I'm cool. Yeah, but I mean, my family's comfortable. Is a big difference.
Oh, there
you know
it
what
is.
I mean? So, but I would have a bigger house if I didn't have to give millions to my
You don't
family.
need all that room anyway.
Oh yeah. What are you, my sister? Yeah. See how this is?
You don't need all that room for what? More cleaning space.
See, for all you people watching, this, so you know, because a lot of people think yo, Carlos, you didn't give that much money to your family. Do you see how she's like, that's what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to buy your mama a house. And
no, I don't like that either. It's only the immediate families. You don't get not the primos, not the cousins. They don't all get that. It's my mom and my sister. That's it.
Yeah, but when you have 11 sisters and 6 brothers.
Ooh, I only have one sister.
I'm one of 18.
Oh my gosh.
I have 78 nephews and nieces.
No, you don't.
Swear to God.
78?
78.
Do you remember all their names?
No.
Okay.
How can I remember all their names? Are you kidding me?
Talk about.
I don't even think I remember the names of all my brothers and sisters. No, I do know, but I don't tell them anymore, because whoever I name last gets really hurt.
Is there any Carlos?
No.
Oh man, get the namesake.
It would be I would punch my parents in the face if they named somebody else.
No, one of your nieces and nephews. I mean,
oh yeah. Wait, are there? Well, my birth name isn't Carlos; it's Ned.
Oh.
So, but there's no Neds in my family other than me.
Oh yeah.
My mother gave me an American name because I was born in Honduras, and then she got her visa and she had to come and leave me there. So then by the time I got here,
yeah, I don't like Ned.
She was like. I asked her, why'd you name me Ned? She goes, well, we were going to America, so I gave you a name that would fit so they wouldn't beat you up.
Were they scared about teaching you Spanish, or you already knew Spanish?
No, I already knew Spanish.
Okay.
But the problem is my birth name is Ned, and I moved to East Los Angeles, where everybody's name is Alberto, Roberto,
Jose.
Rodrigo, Federico, Jose, Carlos. So every single year, the first day of class, when the teacher got to my name, there was a pause.
It was you, huh?
There was a pause. There was literally like a pause, and then she would look at it and kind of look around, and then she would go, is there a Ned here? And you would see
all the names.
All the cholos would be like, what? Where? And I knew, all right, that guy's going to punch me in the face. As soon as we go to recess, I'm getting my butt kicked by all these guys. And that's what would happen. So I had to be funny to make them laugh. You know what I mean? So that they wouldn't beat me up. So they'd be like, your name is Ned? Bro, it's short for Neduardo, because my mom's stupid and she didn't know that it was Eduardo.
Funny.
So she put an N. They'd be like, Neduardo, Simon, listen, that's cool, bro. You know, and then I'd be like, ooh, that's
I got out of that one.
I got out of that one, yeah.
Talk about the creative process. Obviously, you've been in this game for a long time. The creative process then versus now. There's so much information coming out from different angles and whatnot. And just like the political climate.
Well, I think the difference today and back then was when I first started doing stand up, I just did stuff that was funny and I didn't really have to concern myself very much with, anything but being funny. Today, every premise that I write that I think is a little edgy, I have to initially think of my point of view and perspective, but then I have to think of three different other perspectives so that I could write three different portions of that joke that will address their thought.
It's like Marlon Wayans
their
says,
thing.
I'm an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say that I'm talking about a wall. I have to think about there are people that want a wall, there are people that don't want a wall, there are people that want a wall but don't want to pay for a wall, there are people that think Mexico is going to pay for the wall. So I have to think about like all those different people because today we take our politics to the comedy club. It didn't used to be that way before. People left
There's
that
so much
outside.
material, yeah.
You could make black jokes, white jokes. It didn't matter, and people just laughed. It wasn't, they didn't bring their thing to it. Today it's different. People bring that to that. I will hear somebody yell out. Okay, I don't know if you remember when Obama was saying something and somebody yelled out, "You're a liar!" Right? Never, like nothing that's been done. The disrespect of that's what we get in comedy clubs now. People won't say that's not funny. They'll say that's not true, or that's not real, or that's not how it happened. And it's like, guys, when I say knock knock and you say who's there, there's nobody there. That's just the joke we're telling. It's just not real.
It's not literal.
I have to start all my shows by telling people
A disclaimer.
don't get offended. These are just jokes. They may feel like reality, but they're not. They may feel like it's something that I believe or don't. They're not. Everything I say is a joke. And last night it happened. I was talking about something and then some lady's like, "I can't believe you would do that." And I looked
Out
at her and
loud
I
in
went,
the crowd?
Yeah, and I looked at her and I went, "Remember earlier when I told you?" Now, I've been up on stage for about an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I told her, "Do you really think that when I went to Russia, I did what you think that I said? Do you think I really did that?" And she's like, "Well, obviously you said it." I'm like, "It's a joke. Why would you think that any of this is real? I literally told you not to do what you're doing right now." And then she laughed and went, "You're right. I'm sorry." And then we moved on.
You got to remind them a couple times during the show.
Yeah, but that happens today. It never happened before. People just didn't do that. They understood it was comedy and it was okay. Now it's just the lines are blurred. And when you're good at what you do, and look, I'm not bragging, but when you're a good comedian, you make people feel like you're just talking to them. It doesn't feel like a performance. They don't think it's a performance.
It's conversational.
They literally feel like it's a conversation. And sometimes I got to rip the wall out and go, "Hey, guys.
Listen.
This isn't a conversation. We're not talking here. I'm telling jokes, so shut up. I don't need I don't need whatever you think you're bringing to because you're not doing it."
And that's what people love about the best comedians, too, though. Like just that brassness and keep going. And
There's a bunch of different types. There's escapist comics, comedians that tell jokes that take you somewhere that doesn't exist and it's not real, but it's funny and it's fun. Then there's people that just make fun stuff fun and they're there. And then I'm the type of comedian that I want to do jokes about the real world to give you, so to speak, the tools so that the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day
how to approach these real world situations and laugh about them.
Exactly. So that you can, instead of being angry at that moment, go, "Oh, that's stupid." And so that you can have the other half, right? When was the last time that anybody out there saw the cry mask without the laugh or the laugh mask without the cry? It's always laugh, cry.
Right. Laugh now or cry later.
Exactly.
Is that what it?
Or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is. But the point of that is that there's both of those sides, and both of those sides are relevant. And so I want people to go, "Okay, you have the serious sad. Let's give you the funny part. This is funny too. If you just let it be funny, don't take it so seriously, view it from another angle, and so I think that's really important. That some of us, not all of us, but that some of us as stand-ups approach it from that perspective.
I like that. So I want to play a game with you.
Yes.
Para la cultura.
Okay.
So I'm going to name off a couple of things, obviously, in Latin culture
Okay.
that we've grown up on.
Okay.
And you're just going to finish the sentence, really.
Okay.
What containers can you find last night's leftovers in?
All right. In my house, still to this day, I love soup. So whenever I go to a place where they give you the soup in the plastic container with the lid on it.
The fancy one, the fancy to-go containers?
Well, yeah, because they're made out of plastic instead of styrofoam.
Uh-huh.
So those, I don't throw them away.
Me too.
And my son, like, hates it because, Dad, when I opened my lunch today, everybody was like, oh, you went to the California Chicken Cafe? And I go, how did they know? And they're like, they're the only ones that selling these things right here, Dad. And I was like, what?
I thought those were fancy to-go containers. They want you to use it again. It's recycled.
Maybe they do, but not kids.
You tell them about the butter containers that you'd find the frijoles in?
Oh, of course. Like, but see, we don't. It's not that we're bougie. It's that we don't go to those places anymore. You know what I mean? So, like, back in the day, we used to keep the plastic container that had the sour cream in it, right?
Yeah.
Because that was just like a good plastic
thing. Where you find
thing.
the salsa.
Right. But now we have the soup ones. So we could throw away the ones that have the sour cream
They
on
match
it,
now.
right?
You're funny.
We're still Latinos because, you know, when other people come over, they're like, have you ever heard of Tupperware?
No.
You know, that's what it's made for.
No,
I'm like,
I love those containers.
Exactly.
Oregano's gives you like the big salad container. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, yes, I'm getting
But the
this
beauty
one
is
for
my
home today.
mom lives up the hill from us. Like, I bought my mom and dad a house up the hill. So they come down and she'll be like, oh, you have a lot of containers. So I'm just going to take them. And she just takes them and then spreads them out in the family. So
All right, next one. Name 3 household items that can be used to discipline your kids.
To discipline your kids, well, back in the day, it was a belt, a chancla, or the you go choose what I'm going to hit you with.
Oh, man. I never had that one. My mom would just throw whatever. God.
Oh, no. that was the worst. When my dad got so mad that he was calm, that's when I knew. It was like, oh, man, when my dad would go find something, I'm going to hit you. And you better pick it right. And you know what I mean. And what he meant was like, if you pick something soft,
don't get the pillow.
I'm going to go hard on you. You know what I mean? So as a kid, you're going, okay, I want to pick something that's going to hurt, but not hurt too much. Like, who would do that to a child?
A pillow doesn't leave a mark. It can still hurt.
Dude, let me tell you what my father would have done if I would have brought him a pillow.
What would you
He
do?
would have taken the case out of the pillow, put oranges in there, and hit us with that. Because when you hit people with those, you don't bruise, and it hurts on the inside.
You're right.
Yeah.
Don't go getting
and
any
you know how I
ideas
know
out
this?
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it happen?
Yeah, exactly.
How funny. A quinceañera is a party to celebrate a woman's...
A girl's entrance into womanhood.
But really, blank.
I don't, but really, I don't do them for that reason.
Really?
Okay. So people understand what a quinceañera is. It's when you take your daughter to a church at the age of 15, and in the eyes of God, she is viewed as and pronounced a woman ready to be courted, marry, have sex, and bear children.
You're like,
at the age of 15. How can we get mad at our daughters for getting pregnant at 16 when we took them to church a year earlier so that God could say vagina open for business? So I don't do quinceañeras because I know what they really are. I'm just like, if you want to have a party, we'll have a party. But we're not doing the whole church woman
the
white.
communion and all that stuff.
Do you know why they wear white?
What?
So that donable suitors can know they're virgins.
Wow.
That's
true.
literally why they wear white.
That's the tradition.
Yes.
Give them all like here.
And
my daughter's ready to get married.
Yes, and I just look, you cannot follow anything blindly. You know, you just can't.
Not for the sake of tradition?
No, because not all tradition is good. Some tradition is bad. Listen, quinceañeras were amazing in the 1400s when the average girl got married when she was 13. So having a quinceañera, that's like you telling your daughter, just wait 2 years. Like, that was good. But now the average age of marriage is twice that. It's somewhere near 30.
30, yeah.
And you're telling your daughter, but first of all, it's illegal to have sex with a 15-year-old.
We know that now.
So stop doing these things.
We should have a quinceañera.
Yes. Like a quinceañera, like a 25-year-old, right?
Now you're ready.
Like if my 25-year-old daughter, like I'm pregnant, I'd be like, I'm not pissed. You know what I mean? Yeah,
fine.
I knew you were having sex. I thought, I wouldn't get mad, but so maybe at 25. No, but having a party when they're 15 is fine. That's not a problem. It's the coming out part. It's the whole religious wear
I like this. We're breaking
thing.
traditions. I like
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that.
I like that. All right.
But throw a party for her. By all means. Just don't call it a quinceañera.
I didn't get either. My mom said, you want a quince or you want a car? I said a car. I didn't get either.
I had a car when I was 16. It was a Datsun 510 4-door. And
do they make those anymore?
It cost, of course not. It's a Datsun, which
my
became
first car,
Nissan.
They don't make anymore either. It was a Ford Fire or something. It looked like it was a Geo knockoff.
Was
Geo
it the
Metro knockoff?
Fiero?
It was something.
Was it the Fiero?
Not the Fiero. Those were cool.
Those were the little sports cars.
Yeah, it was a Geo Metro knockoff by Ford. It was I forgot what it was called.
The Ford Fiesta? Was it the Ford Fiesta?
It was like they still make the Fiesta, don't they?
I have no idea, man. Listen, let's talk about Mercedes. No, I'm kidding.
The last question on Para la Cultura with Carlos Mencia. What are 3 loving nicknames in Spanish that could be considered insults in English?
My mom used to call my dad old man, but
Viejo.
in Spanish, viejo. Hey, viejo, ven acá, viejo. My dad used to call my mom vieja, which is old woman. They used to call us idiots growing up, right?
In Spanish,
pendejo. We were all pendejos.
But it was a loving nickname.
Because they had so many kids that my mom would go.
You guys just pendejo.
You go
Everyone
Ned,
pops
but vos pendejo. I'm like, okay, I see. What do you want me to do? Those are one. Let's see what others.
You're forgetting the biggest one is
Which one's
gorda. Gorda or gordo.
Oh, you know what it is? Because we don't call anybody gorda. Or gordo, I guess. We call them feo or fea.
That too.
Ugly. So,
that too.
like all my sisters are fea.
Well, there's chato.
Hey, fea. What's up, fea? But yeah,
it's
you know
loving.
what? They say gordo to me. So I'll be like, what's up, fea? And they're like, what's up, gordo? But they say it to me to be mean. I say it to them, it's like it's cute. Like, because none of my sisters are ugly. So, to say somebody, you know what I mean? It's like calling your friend who's 6'2" shorty. You know what I mean? It's like every big white dude who's like, 6'4", and I'm like, hey, hey, what's up, tiny? They're always like, how'd you know? They're always tiny. They always hear tiny. So it's kind of like that when I say fea. But
funny.
That's ugly. It doesn't even sound right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's all these loving nicknames in Spanish and English. They don't translate the same. Like, why does she call you fea? Oh, it means ugly.
It means
what?
ugly, and they're like, what? Why would you accept that?
That's
what's
not
gorda,
nice.
fat?
It's an abusive home.
That is so wrong.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but you know what that does? It lets you learn that some things are funny. I mean, we're living in a society today where you can't get away with being funny because everything is serious. Somebody the other day quoted me. I was on stage and I did a joke and we did an interview after, and they quoted me and they said, you were on stage and you made a statement. And I said, listen, if you don't want this conversation to end right now, respect the fact that when you saw the whole show.
Yeah.
You heard me tell everybody these are just jokes. So please, 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 I am not up there making statements. I am being funny. Now, if you're telling me that you want to speak to Ned, then say that.
Oh.
Tell me you want to speak to Ned, and you will have a completely different conversation with none of the tones or sarcasms or wittiness. Ned is a very thoughtful human being that, he doesn't like this industry. He's not in this industry. You has to interview Carlos. So stick to that. You want to hear statements? Ask Ned what he thinks.
On that note, drop the mic. We're interviewing Carlos Mencia, not Ned. All right, Carlos Mencia at CV Live all this weekend, right?
Yeah, and
Tonight,
this is gonna be me tonight after 7 drinks.
That's what I did to my boyfriend last night. All right.
I just wanted to remind you subtly of what you did.
I'm gotta go. I have a lunch date. I have to go. Shout out to Carlos Mencia and Natasha Castles inside the Primavera Online High School Lounge.
She might
Thank
be
you so
pregnant
much.
and doesn't know it.
No.
I just want to throw that out there. She
Don't
might be
start
pregnant
rumors.
and doesn't know it. Hey, you're the one that said she was 7 months pregnant and she didn't know it. You might not know it.
That's scary. Wasn't that scary for anybody?
Why would you bring it
Everybody
up
in the room.
then? I love the fact that now that I'm telling you what you said, you're like, no, don't say that. It's scary. Where was that voice in your head last night on Valentine's Day, right before you were about to do your man properly?